Welcome to Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes with your host Bert Laporte, Damian Monte Carlo, and Angry Mike D. Alright, sit back and enjoy the ride as they talk about all things that rock and other useless knowledge you don't care about. And remember, every asshole has an opinion. This is theirs. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe.
All right, we're back. Another episode of Mixtapes and Taste Cakes. Bert says it's episode 177, so I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
This one we're doing an album battle. Both self-titled albums from Badlands and Blue Murder. Both came out 35 years ago, 1989, about a month apart.
Yeah.
One came out in April. I think the Blue Murder was April, and Badlands was in May. And I got a couple guests, frequent guest Steve Tabilio from Seems Like Tuesday. A new guest, Tom Hodges. Tom, you're an illustrator, I think, or
key art illustrator, storyboard artist. I work in entertainment marketing.
He's done stuff for Disney, right? Disney, Amazon,
Disney,
also, right?
Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount. Like, I've done work for pretty much all the major studios in some regard, for whether it's for theatrical or streaming or TV.
Mm-hmm.
Storyboards for various projects, and I did a graphic novel for Rush for their 2112.
No shit.
5.1. Dude, there's nothing. Okay, number one, just to get it out of the way, getting emails from Neil Peart was insane.
Yeah.
Because everything was directly he dealt with all that shit, like all the artwork and everything. Like Getty and Alex could give a shit.
Right,
it's done. Cool.
So wait,
I didn't get. Go ahead.
Is this the vinyl version like you did? Like
No, what they did was they did a in 2012 they did a 5.1 surround sound mix, and UMG, and okay, so you're not gonna remember this dude Jamie that I went to high school with, Steve, but I used to work with him at Sam Goody in the Echelon Mall. And he became an A&R guy. Like his like mentor.
I remember that dude.
Was Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, really?
His mentor was this
from
guy,
Interscope, right?
Yeah, no, and he went and worked for Universal Music Group, and he worked at Interscope first, and he went to I think he worked at Interscope. I'm pretty sure, but he was at UMG, and they're like, well, Rush wants to do this big thing, and do we know any comic book artists? And Jamie's like, I know exactly the guy. And literally within like a few weeks, it went from being like an idea to me starting on it. Like I think the whole process took 8 weeks from start to finish.
Wow.
Like when I was done it was 40 pages and a cover. Wow. When I was done, my hand was like this for like a week. I was shaking. I couldn't draw for a week. But I've worked for a bunch of different people, and but I met Alex and Getty at Universal Amphitheater when they did Clockwork Angels here, which was right after I finished the book. I met them right after at backstage at their show, and Getty smelled like the best weed you could buy. And I don't think he'd be upset with me saying that publicly. And Alex was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" So yeah.
But I want to put up some as we're talking here, as tomorrow I'll do the editing and I'll put it up, and I'm going to put some graphics up now. You've definitely seen some of these posters that he's made before. Pretty cool, man.
So let me explain what I do. Normally, I work with an art director who will come up with a concept, and I will illustrate it so the studio can see what it might look like, get an idea of it. In the cases of what I showed you, I came up with the concept.
Sure.
I illustrated the concept. They approved it, and then an art director built it in Photoshop.
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah. That's cool.
And in case of story, I couldn't show you any of the stuff I did storyboards for. I recently did something for a very big Marvel project that I storyboarded for something for a special event.
Yeah.
And I've done stuff for everybody, a whole bunch of stuff. I actually did a bunch of stuff for You know those programs, like those games, not games, but like where you can plug your guitar in and you can learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
On your, I can't remember what they're called, but I did one for the guitar and for the piano. I storyboarded their commercials.
Very cool. I know Metallica's got something out like now where you could play along. I forget what it's called, but you could play along with.
It's the same. It's the same company. That
Okay.
I think, and they're doing they did a version with Metallica, I think.
Mhm.
Like it's like a plug-in, like where where you have a game and then there's an expansion pack type of thing.
Right,
I could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that one.
Fun fact, you were talking about like guitar kind of games. Me and Steve, we were in a band called Stop the World, and we had 3 songs on Rock Band. We were downloading Rock Band.
I remember.
We were one of the first downloads for an unsigned band on Rock Band.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So,
We were on the same thing with like Aerosmith, which was
Yeah. Like you're in the same
cool.
game with like Van Halen, and then
yeah,
and then
you
you
get
come
3
up, and then if
jabronis.
it's Rush,
I don't know if what was the bigger thrill, that or being in the girl playing with herself in the porno to the song.
That was pretty good too. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Damon
no,
I don't know if I remember that.
Yeah,
we had a girl send us.
Yeah,
She sent us a request that she wanted to use our song "Dirty," which is funny because "Dirty" also got used for 2 different things for MMR in Philly, and it's funny that she sent us a request. We had to fill out the paperwork, the whole bit, and she's like, "Is it okay if I play the song in the background as I pour chocolate all over myself?" It was weird. Yeah.
So she's sitting in a big like bucket, and she's pouring chocolate all over herself, and she's playing with herself to the song.
Dave, you didn't notice, did you?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the Rock Band thing was a bigger deal.
Yeah, but the other thing was kind of weird.
It was weird. I think they were.
The other one's a better
equally
story,
cool.
though.
That's fucking weird. I mean, that's really fucking
She
weird.
had big boobs.
Yeah.
I
But
forget her name.
it was kind of crazy. Like everything happened after that band broke up.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a weird.
Oh my God, that's great, Bert. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the precedent, Steve, it was Steve calls me up. Matter of fact, we broke up maybe 8 months, and Steve called, and between that 8 months, the Rock Band thing came out. Of course, after we broke up, right? Because everything takes time. Whatever you're doing now don't happen until like a year later in the real world for them, right? So the Steve calls me up, and Steve goes, "Yo, we're on a Comcast commercial." I'm like, "Yeah, the tattoo commercial that Joe did, right?" He's like, "No, not the tattoo commercial. We're on an ice cream commercial." I'm like, "I didn't sign off on the ice cream commercial," but we sent stuff in the MMR, and money was in our ASCAP or whatever, a couple bucks or whatever the deal was, and pretty much I found it, and it wound up being like this whole skit with the same song, "Dirty," and there was like these 2 girls kind of making out over this Ripple ice cream or something. There's Preston Steve's Guatemalan Ripple ice cream.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Is that on YouTube or something?
You could probably find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Ben and Jerry's
Actually a
2
decent
girls, 1 cup.
commercial. Like it was actually pretty cool.
Here's the thing. I mean, if you find like if there are ways that your music can, okay, perfect example is my friend Nicolette, she's the lead singer of a all-girl punk band out in LA called Go Betty Go. And they're fucking fabulous. Like if you take like the Go-Go's, they're great. I mean,
Why does
really
that name sounds familiar?
There's a couple Bettys, Betty White Trash,
here's-
there's a couple Bettys, yeah.
Well, this Go Betty Go. Well, they have a song like I'm watching Cobra Kai. One of their songs is being used in like a montage
Really?
like thing. Like, and I'm like, fuck it. I text her and she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah.
That's
that
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want some of that
Yeah.
Cobra Kai money. Come on.
I will say this: they probably went with them because they're an LA Valley-based band.
Sure. Yep.
And the show's based in the Valley. So,
Yep. So speaking of your artwork, I was poking on your Instagram, and dude, there's an awesome illustration of Jason Kelly you did. I thought
Kelsey?
that was super cool. Yes, the Kelsey one was
Kelsey.
really cool.
Yeah, if you like, I'll send you some more stuff, but like I did a Dawkins a couple years ago. I did like if this was tomorrow night, I would not be here.
Right.
Fucking birds are on tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'd like if it was tomorrow night, I'd be like, nah, I can't do it. I'm watching the Eagles. But no, like I use when I my day job is drawing like actors and actresses and so when I do like Kelsey, that's for me. When I do Dawkins, there's an Eddie Van Halen I did a few years ago that is still one of my favorite pieces, and I wish I held on to it because I probably would have sent it to Wolfie after Eddie died. But when I get a chance to draw something like for fun, You can like this. The second email I sent you is stuff I did for fun. You know what I mean? That's stuff I do for.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff. The Kelsey, when I poked your thing, there was a lot of neat stuff. But that one, I was like, wow, the color looks great in it, and I mean, it looks just like them. It's great.
And it's just a digital painting. I mean, it's a digital illustration.
Looks great,
which is primarily what I do.
So, Steve,
yes,
you have a new video and single out, which I had the pleasure of helping you with the video. Yeah, Wasted Summer. Tell us about that.
Well, it's our new single that just came out. We recorded it with Dave Piron, the famous Dave Piron. We did the video at 6 different shore points. And then you and I edited it and edited it. Right.
Fast track.
Yeah, right track.
Right track. I'm sorry, right track.
And we have it out right now. Everybody seems to love the song, love the video. It's a very driving tune. I think Erica sings fantastic on it, and we're real proud of it. It's getting airplay all over the place on indie radio and the UK, and tomorrow will be Japan and everything else. So
nice.
We're happy with it. We're putting it. It's another song in the catalog, and we move on to something else. I just got a mix from Dave for our next song. So we're always like, by the time we put it out, we're already on to the next one. So there's not that gap of, so you could be forgotten, trying to stay relevant. So that's where we're at this point. We're doing well. We got a gig on Saturday. Got a bunch of festivals coming up.
Where are you playing Saturday?
We're actually playing a garage opening. My buddy bought this garage, and we're playing the grand opening. He's like changing the name and everything. It's gonna be a sign unveiling. There's gonna be like Mr. Softy, kids rides. There's gonna be a food truck, and we're playing. So I said, sure, we'll play.
Yeah, why not?
We're playing.
Good time for everybody.
Yeah, and it's free too.
Yeah,
so,
and you just did that Wally Festival. How was that?
Amazing.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
That was a lot of work, but it was real cool. I mean, the people up there are just so chilled. It was like going to Jamaica. Like everybody's relaxed, nobody was like uptight. Everybody was super friendly. Like I left, I had about, I don't know. Damn, I had like cymbals and like 2 snare drums and my pedals. So I had probably about maybe $4 or $5 grand worth of shit, and I just left it on the side of the stage, man. And I was confident it was going to be there when I went. I went out and they fed us. I went and go get a hamburger. I came back down. My stuff was still sitting there. That would never happen anywhere around here,
Did you open your stuff after that? You make sure it wasn't like kids stuff in there, like kids toys and stuff thrown in there.
No, it was just cool.
You mean it's not like the Troc back in the day? For those of you, if you guys don't know, I was Steve's drum tech for years.
Oh shit!
Yeah. That's like how we met through other people, but I was his drum tech for several bands.
Yeah,
several bands.
You did Street
Roxy,
Shy Roxy, Dead Pirates. You were there for the heyday of the Pirates, the madness of the Black Belt Jones parties and all that stuff.
Five Head.
You did Five Head, yeah. You were there for a lot of it.
So I probably met Tom in passing. I had to.
Yeah, you definitely met. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was in high school roadieing for him.
That's crazy.
My dad was their manager for a while.
Really?
Too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild. So you're you're from Philly. Now you're living in San Fran.
From Philly.
Vegas.
Oh, I'm living in Vegas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Vegas, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, my dad was a roadie for a lot of bands back in the day, and he like big music guy. Produced a couple of the Roxy demos. Good times.
Yeah, we had. I was telling somebody today, Tom, about the Black Belt Jones parties. It's like I was like anything that you've heard it happen. It was like like
man. I met Black Belt Jones, dude, years ago at a convention when I was at a comic convention I was doing. But I went up to like, dude, we used to have parties for you, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, shirts.
We had shirts made. You had shirts made.
Yeah,
we did it every year. We did a Black Belt Jones party every year.
It was I'm out of the loop. Who's Black Belt Jones?
Oh, you don't know.
Black Belt Jones is the Black Bruce Lee.
Okay.
He was in Enter the Dragon.
Best way to explain it. And
Yeah.
we were in this band called the Dead Pirates. It was like me, Chris Sturmel, Eddie Fox, Johnny Rocks, and
There were
Pete-
some rotating
Pete for a
members
little
here
bit,
and
right?
there.
yeah, Ray Conrad was in it for a little bit. Pete Lacatera, God rest his soul, he was in it for a little bit. And we had like roadies. I mean, dude, we used to walk into a place like 30 strong. Like 30 guys
crazy.
would walk in, and we were
30
in the-
guys between the band and the road crew, which is
Yeah,
That's
and
too
we used to
funny.
took over the place.
fights and just
Like
like
the owner be like, because I was the guy everyone came to talk to. So when like the club manager, the owner, like Bullwinkle or somebody, whoever it was, would come up and be like, yo, you guys can't do this. Like, oh, it's all right. And he'd be like, all right, and he'd walk away.
remember you used to do the English accent. Tom would act like he
Oh,
was
right. Oh
Remember?
God. Well, okay. So the backstory of that is everyone knew my dad worked for Zeppelin, so they assumed I was British. A lot of them. I wasn't. Not. My dad was born on fucking Coney Island, so you know what I mean. Like,
But he
but
would do this whole
we used to
thing.
fuck with people all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the
wild.
stories. We could write a book. We could write a stupid movie that would make millions from the shit
Very
we used
cool.
to do.
Yeah.
So fast plug before we start this album battle here. Us and Monte Carlo are also in the studio. We have a new video out called Thorn in My Side. You can check out on YouTube also. Check out Seems Like Tuesday. Wasted Summer. Also on YouTube. And check out Tom's artwork. We're going to put up a link for Tom so you can get in touch with Tom. So yeah, great stuff, man. It's nice to have guests on. We haven't had guests on in a while, and we should do more of that. But I always feel funny reaching out to people. But I think I'm going to start reaching out to people just to see what the fuck is up. All right, so
we
we're
haven't
here
really
for-
gotten to we
Yeah,
haven't
so-
really gotten to the show yet. So
No,
I mean,
we
this
haven't
could
even
go
gotten to the show yet.
This could
Right.
go horribly wrong.
you know what? Both of these records are so good. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. So, yeah, we're here for the album battle. And the way we do it is everything was randomly chosen against each other. It's not in order. And there is a screw job in effect. There's more songs on the Badlands record. The instrumental don't count unless it's two instrumentals against each other. We don't usually count them. And also the bonus track, which is Ball and Chain, that's not included. So it's going to be 9 songs versus 9 songs. So it's 9 rounds. And what we do is we talk about the song, we pick one, and the winner gets a chip for each one. Then we add it up and we decide who's going to win. Now, the funny thing is because the album you think's going to win sometimes is not the winner. The way the songs go against each other. So here for Blue Murder, we got the Stanley Cup. The Blue Murder's going in the Stanley Cup for the chips. And the Gene Simmons Cup is going to be whatever the fuck, Badlands. So 2 great albums that came out in '89, and man, just fucking awesome records. So we're going to start
two sort of super groups too.
So
at that point.
like it could be even studio music. I think people forget that or don't know that John Sykes pretty much wrote that Whitesnake album that was huge.
Yeah,
know?
well, that Blue Murder album is like, it's like the sequel to that Whitesnake.
Like
album.
Whitesnake.
It really is. No, I was
It
literally
is.
going to say that,
Yeah.
Damien. It's literally like that album.
Same sound
follow-up.
and everything.
Yeah.
Well, you know what
Absolutely.
it is? He has the same exact guitar tone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Got that,
yeah.
woo, all the sailing, like it's
It's like the best guitar tone too.
yeah, it's very identifiable. I think
Yeah.
the drums sound better on Blue Murder record than the Whitesnake record. Though.
I do too.
Yeah.
do too.
I agree. No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree
Dansley
with
does
that
well. I was like,
100%.
it sounded like the snare drum just sounded like shit to me. But
Like, just, like if I could say one thing between these, like it's insane. I honestly probably haven't listened to these albums since the mid '90s, and that's no joke. Although Blue Murder, that single, is in heavy rotation in my music. It really is. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But both of these bands, pound for pound, are fucking insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember liking both of them a lot. Then I listened back and I'm going, both these albums are fucking great. Like great. Too
Yeah,
much.
but,
The insane part about it is the sales. I did some research today. You guys sent me on down a rabbit hole. I learned some shit about these albums that I didn't know before. So
Very, very cool.
I'll
Did you
throw it out
guys know
later. I'll
that,
throw out some knowledge later.
What's that,
Did you know
Damo?
that Ray Gillen was actually the original singer of
Of who? Blue Murder?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah,
Didn't
Yes,
know
he
that.
was.
There's demos out there you
Wow.
could find.
Wow, that could have been a whole
No,
other thing.
like seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what else is funny? That Blue Murder album is considered the 6th best produced album by Bob Rock.
Wow, it's another
Wow.
Bob Rock record.
I forgot he
That's
did
right.
that
It's a
album.
Bob Rock
Forgot,
record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should've known
It's got his
Yeah.
sample all over it. It's
Oh,
got his
yeah.
sample.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
that's
brawl, but I know my
That's great.
music, so
So
I
I'm
was
gonna
raised right.
I'm going to
Bob
start
Rock,
it off
right.
here with the first round, and I want to go in round so we can see what we got here. Okay, round number 1: Badlands Rumbling Train versus Billy from Blue Murder. What do you got, Steve?
Again, I like every song pretty much on both of these records. Nothing I would turn off. Obviously, I like some more than others. I'm going to go with Rumbling Train, just purely for the vocals of where he takes that. So that's my pick on that one.
Okay, Tom, Red.
Okay, so so for Rumbling Train, which was my preferred song, I gave it an 8, whereas I gave Billy a 6. Billy was for some reason it gave me Miami Vice vibes when it started.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I could hear that.
But Rumbling Train, every band at this time had that blues metal song.
Yeah.
And this was theirs for this album. And so Rumbling Train got my vote on that one.
Okay, Badlands Rumbling Train. Mike D.
This was close too. I had them both at 8, but I think the Rumbling Train, I don't know, it's more of a serious song. Like he said, that other one had that Miami voice sound to it, like in the beginning of it, which it wasn't bad, but it was just, I don't know. I'm going Rumbling Train.
Mike D. Rumbling Train. Damo.
I actually gave both of those songs the same score. So
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, like what Tom said, that intro does have major Miami Vice vibes, and for that, Rumbling Train is going to win.
Going Rumbling
that
Train.
round
That's
me.
4.
Yeah.
Do we get a whole thing here? Rumbling Train, I gave a 7.4. It's a cool tune. I dig the feel. It's not a bad song on the record. Billy, I gave Billy an 8. Billy wins this one for me. It just got that cool hook. It just, that hook, the little extra melody hook pulls it to the front. I'm giving that one to Blue Murder. Okay, that's round 1. Round 2. Badlands, Streets Cry Freedom. And Blue Murder, I don't know how the fuck you say this name.
Ptolemy.
How you say it? Ptolemy? The P is silent.
Ptolemy.
Yeah.
Ptolemy.
Okay. Anybody know what Ptolemy means before we start this?
Claudius Ptolemy. He's a mathematician and astrologer.
Oh,
Okay.
how about
Like
that?
ancient shit.
I
I told
stuff.
you. You sent me down a rabbit hole.
I thought it was a fancy word for nothing.
I actually did like homework and stuff.
All right, so Steve,
I'm going to go with Badlands again.
Okay, Stevie Badlands.
I think that I don't know. It to me it's more of a where the Blue Murder seems to be more produced, as everyone said, the Bob Rock jazz thing to it. It had all the effects. That album was just real rootsy and like more like no frill and just attitude, and it had a snarl.
Yeah, Zeppelin.
I was expecting something totally different from Jake, and then when he came out with that, I'm like, wow, this is totally not what I was expecting coming out of Ozzy.
Yeah.
And then I knew Ray Gillen from from Black Sabbath, because he was in that towards the end. But and then you knew Eric Singer if you're a drummer because of the endorsements and all. But yeah, I just think that has a snarl to it that I kind of enjoy.
Cool.
I'm gonna go Badlands again.
On Red.
Did you say Red? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I went with Blue Murder on this one.
Okay, one for Blue Murder.
Streets Cry Freedom, I gave a 7.5. I gave Ptolemy an 8. And I felt like the first half of Streets was kind of like it picked up and built, and like it kept building, but Ptolemy got my vote.
Mike D.
Both of these have a 7 for me. I think I don't know. Ptolemy was just such a different song, man. I think I'm going with that. I mean, it wasn't as good as I remembered it back in the day, but it still had some just really cool parts in that. It was different.
Okay, you're going Blue Murder?
Blue Murder.
Damiano?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I love Streets Cry Freedom. Ptolemy's sort of like kind of like almost like a dark horse song on that album, but it's so different, I think. So I'm going with that one.
You're going Blue Murder?
Yeah, it's actually really heavy for
Streets
everything
Cry
else.
Freedom, I gave a 7.7. Ray Gillen's voice is just so good. I mean, I dig this tune. The second, as Tom Red was saying, the second part of the chorus, man, it really builds. It's got a great hook. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Streets Cry Freedom. Badlands. We're pretty all over the place. This is good. It's going to be an interesting.
Well, you know what? There's no landslide because both albums are really good.
They're both worth getting. Yeah.
You know,
They're really even.
Yep. Okay. Round 3. Badlands, Dancing on the Edge. Blue Murder, Jelly Roll. What you got, Steve?
Again, you know, the Dancing on the Edge is kind of like the same rating I've had for Streets Cry Freedom, sort of right around that level. I like Jelly Roll. I like that. She said, you know, through you know, that thing. You could tell it's like Tony Franklin going, she said, if you ever heard of
yeah.
And I kind of like where that goes when it goes, it kind of gets done the tune, and then he goes on that whole, you know, it's almost a cry for help or whatever. That's incredible.
That end, yeah.
I never knew why it was called Jelly Roll. Tom, do you have any sort of facts on that?
No.
Okay. Maybe he likes jelly rolls. I don't know, but I just found that an odd title.
Well, dude, how many songs did like Roxy have that meant like nothing?
Yeah.
With the name, like
we had the dark song, remember?
the dark song.
Yeah.
Corn.
Yeah.
Corn.
So yeah. That means so much. It's like 50 meetings to Corn. Anyway, I'll go with Blue Murder because I love that where it goes, but where he takes that is like, you know, worldly. I like that.
Red, what you got?
Okay. So let me see. Dancing on the Edge. Dancing on the Edge is one of my favorites on that particular album. So I gave that a 10 actually.
Nice,
wow.
Nice.
And Jelly Roll at 8. It's got some. It's like Steve was saying, the changes in that tune are insane.
Yeah,
just insane. Like I said earlier, like these bands are just like Tony Franklin, Carmine Appice, and fucking John Sykes, and then fucking Jakey Lee, Ray Gillen, fucking Greg. I can't pronounce his last name. Jason,
yep.
And fucking Eric Singer. Eric Singer is better than Kiss represented him as being. So,
absolutely. Yep.
You know. But yeah, but I went with Dancing on the Edge on that.
Badlands, Mike D.
So I have Jelly Roll at a 9, Dancing on the Edge at an 8. I mean, I'm going with Jelly Roll on this one, but Dancing on the Edge, that's just such a killer track, man. That's just, it's hard to.
Yeah, nothing stinks on either side.
Yeah.
But going with Jelly Roll, I mean, even though I'm not a big fan of the mushy stuff at the end of it, it's just all that technical stuff in there. It's just such a cool track.
Yeah.
Mike D, Blue Murder. Dame.
Yeah, this is another tough round. Jelly Roll, I really, really love the end of the song. There's like different sections. It sounds like 3 different songs. But that end makes it. But Dancing on the Edge is one of my favorite tracks on that record. And it's probably, not that this means anything, but it's probably, if there's any of those songs could have been Ozzy songs, they could have probably did this one. Like this could have been like an Ozzy tune.
A lot of notes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it could have been a Dio. Like this has a very Dio feel. This is very Zeppelin feel. And it's the Badlands album that has all these things.
Yeah.
Like the other album is Whitesnake. There's so many different ways Badlands sounds. They could have gone anywhere.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of Zeppelin in these songs, but yeah, Dancing on the Edge gets the slight edge.
Dame. Badlands. Dancing on the Edge, I gave an 8. Really cool guitar opening, good riff, a solid tune. When I hear the chorus, it reminds me of something that could have been on Appetite for Destruction. His voice gets in that kind of range.
I could picture Axel doing some of that. Yeah.
You know, that it totally reminds me of that. Jelly Roll just squeaks it out. I give Jelly Roll an 8.5. This one's just different. It's got a really cool hook through the whole song. I mean, like you said, he said or she said, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? But it's fucking great. It don't stop. It rambles. And I know Steve loves that ramble. Yeah, and this was tough. This one was a tough one, but I'm going to go with Blue Murder. Okay, guys, round 4. Badlands season, Blue Murder. What do you got there, Stevie?
I'm gonna go with Blue Murder. I actually thought that they should have came out with the title of the band, the band Blue Murder. The album was named Blue Murder, and I think the first song should have been Blue Murder. I really do.
No, it was after. I think the first song was
it the
Valley of the Kings. Second song was Jelly Roll, I think.
Yeah,
Blue Murder was later on the
out with.
Yeah.
And
Really?
I just thought that was like, okay, it's great, but it's like really long. And I don't know. I like the Blue Murder, like the Fool in the Rain thing, Dame.
Yeah.
It's very John Bonham-esque, kind of the beginning of that. And
shuffle.
Yeah, he's got the shuffle thing. Well, he dead stole that off John Bonham. But he plays it well, so kudos, But I'm going to go with Blue Murder there. And I thought that, I think if they came out with that song, they would have went further. I really do. And then did Jelly Roll. And after you had an audience, you do Valley of the Kings. I just thought that I remember that video with the castle and all. It was really over the top, But I'm going to go with Blue Murder. Just on the drumbeat ode to John Bonham there.
Red, what you got?
Okay, so, and I may get some backlash for this one. Seasons to me is filler. It's like the one song on that album that's filler. Every band had that song. Every band, like I said earlier, everyone had that metal blues song, but those were good. I do not like Seasons at all. It got a 4 for me.
Wow.
Blue Murder's a 10.
Wow.
I love that song. Like the groove of that song of Blue Murder is just insane. And it keeps, and the time changes and everything. I fucking love that song. Like I said, it's in. Good.
No, I think what makes a lot of that too is the fretless bass. It just makes it sound cooler.
It's fucking insane. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy just got done playing with Jimmy Page and he goes to this.
He played in The Firm with Jimmy Page, yes. Yep. So Blue Murder.
Right. Yeah.
Mike D.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Reds on this one. Not that I didn't like Seasons. I didn't give it as low as he did. I gave it a 7. I mean, it still had some really cool stuff in there. A little bit long, if I can remember, or at least it felt longer. A
little epic-y, yeah.
Blue Murder. That is an epic Blue Murder. That's just a killer track. I gave that a 9.5.
Mike D. Blue Murder. Dame.
Yeah, this was easy. Just for that shuffle, Blue Murder gets it.
You got to respect the shuffle if you're a drummer.
Blue Murder.
You can mess that up. Like, Dame, the ghost notes are too heavy, or they're too loud, or right?
Yeah.
Groove, time changes, 3 exclamation marks, shuffle.
Yeah.
You can like mess up the ghost notes and then it doesn't sound cool.
Right.
If the ghost notes are too loud, it don't sound cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You totally ruin it.
Yep. Seasons.
Sorry.
Get what you say? Yeah.
I was gonna say it was his college try of Fool in the Rain.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
I gave Seasons a 7.8. Cool guitar part, lots of feeling, of course, in the vocals. It's a good song. It's got a Zepp feel to it, definitely. Blue Murder, I gave a 9. So it's a great tune. I love the drums and the aggressiveness of the song. It's another one of my favorites off the record. It's probably my second favorite song off the record. And Blue Murder, is that the first one where it got is this the first sweep? Did we all pick Blue Murder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's a sweep. That's the first sweep. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. That's the first sweep. All right, so round 5 starts, and here we go. So this one's going to be a little lopsided, I think. Round 5. High Wire, Steve versus Black Hearted Woman. What do you got?
Although I don't mind Black-Hearted Woman at all. The High Wire just comes and runs you right over, punches you in the face, and then treads on you when you're already down. No doubt about it. Just the whole screams.
Badlands.
You know, all that he's doing? Dude, no way, man. You got to give it to him.
Yep. Red.
Badlands.
I have notes on this one. Let's put it right out of the gate. High Wire by a nose. And I'm going to tell you why. It felt like it's a total Zeppelin song. That's a Zeppelin song.
Absolutely.
And the like, this is where like I'm listening to it, it's like that fucking rhythm section's insane.
Yeah.
They're
What's
insane,
on it?
especially on that one. But
Yeah.
on Black-Hearted Woman, my notes are it's got an 8. The other one was a 9. This is an 8. It says easily the most Whitesnake track on the album. Easily. Like that literally could have been on the follow-up or on that album.
Yep.
That album's is a Coverdale Revenge album that just didn't cut it.
So who are you going with? You going with Badlands?
Badlands.
There we go. Mike D.
Yeah, Black-Hearted Woman, that was tied for my lowest on Blue Murder. I had a 6.5 for that. High Wire, 8.5, man. It's High Wire.
Badlands. Damiano.
Black-Hearted Woman, I gave an 8.5. It's got all the John Sykesisms in that song, from the slide to the riffage. It's Bad Boys Part 2. That song. He loved Bad Boys so much that he had to write his own record, and that's what this song is. But High Wire, I gave it 9.5. It's almost perfect. So I got to go with that.
Badlands. This one's an easy one for me. Black-Hearted Woman, I gave a 6.5. It's my least favorite off the record. High Wire, fucking by a mile from me. Badlands, that song, great. It's the opener of the album, I believe. It's great.
I got to say one thing. You know the part, if everybody obviously listened to it, you know the part coming out of the solo, like, and it goes, it like changed. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That little triple
I mean, that's badass. You played to a click too, or whatever. Come on, man. I mean, that's fire.
I was working while I was listening. I was sitting there working, and I literally just fucking stopped everything I was doing. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a great.
I'm like, I haven't listened to this album in 35 years. Why?
Yeah.
It's just that part alone makes it win. That's incredible. From like, if you're a drummer or a bass player, or like, that's not easy to switch gears like that, from going, you know, your heart's beating real fast, and then all of a sudden you got to, you know what I'm saying, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Tom, you play drums, you know, it's not an easy transition to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's another that's a sweep on the other side now. Badlands gets a sweep, so ring the bell. Cool. Coming in at round 6, Dreams in the Dark versus Riot. What do you have, Steve?
This is the most toughest one for me. Because I even though Dreams in the Dark is kind of commercial compared to the rest, and they came out with the, you know, it's a really good tune, great guitar solo. But I love Riot. I think that's probably my favorite song on that record. So even hesitantly, I mean, I'm squeaking him out like a 0.5 here. I will go with Riot, just because I think that's
Blue Murder.
a great song.
Red, what you got?
Dude, we are sharing the same fucking brain except the other direction. This. Okay, so my notes on this for Dreams in the Dark. This was the first single, right? Or one of the singles, right?
The first single.
One.
It sounds like it easily could have been a Dio song or on Ultimate Sin. That's what I have in the notes. Easily could have been on Ultimate Sin.
QB like that, right?
Right. Like musically, you know what I mean? Like it literally sounds like something that could have been on an Ozzy or a Dio album, especially Dio. But and Riot is insane. Like I have insane. Baseline is sick. You know what I mean? Like that's my note on that. But I just it's squeaks by to 8.5. The other, Riot I gave an 8. Dreams in the Dark got a 8.5.
Dreams in the Dark. Mike D.
So I have an 8.5 for both of them. And this is even tougher because I think I bought the album off of Dreams in the Dark years ago. I think that was the first one that they released off of that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
But man, Riot's just so freaking good, man. And I think it just noses it out.
Wow, Mike D, Blue Murder Riot. Dane?
One I gave an 8.5, the other one I gave an 8.
And by 5.
It was close. Riot, man, that pre-chorus is gold, man. That like just, but I think Dreams in the Dark is a little more commercially appealing, and I like it a little bit more, so I'm going with Badlands.
I think that's what turned me the other way, because I think that I've heard Dreams in the Dark before, which Riot's kind of different.
Yeah.
Yep. Dreams in the Dark, I gave it 9.5. Great opening blast. With that little Jake solo in the beginning, solid vocals, good hook, good choice, I think, for first single for them. Riot, I gave an 8.75, so another one that, just barely under. I dig the tune, great opener for the record, but I think it's a little hard to beat Dreams in the Dark. Tough one, but I'm going with Badlands. Okay, round 7, we're closing in over here. Devil's Stomp. What do you got, Steve? Oh, I'm sorry. Devil's Stomp versus Sex Child. What do you got there, Steve?
All right, I have Ball and Chain on this.
Ball and Chain got switched up because that was the bonus track.
Okay. I'm going to go with Sex Child. Because I had it against Ball and Chain, so I must.
Okay, so it gets the
so it's out. Yeah, I'll take Sex Child. I think besides the title of it, there's a lot going on in that tune too that I kind of like. So I'm going to go with that.
Red.
I went with Devil's Stomp because I just changed it, but it still had the same rating as the other one that I had on there.
Okay, cool.
And Devil's Stomp wins by. I gave Devil's Stomp a 5. And I gave Sex Child a 3.
Wow.
And musically, great.
Lyrically tough.
The lyrics are just too much now.
You got to kind of look at what
you got to consider when it came out. Yeah, I know, but when he screams "Sex Child," you're like,
yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I look past that.
I know you do. It just cracked. I'm listening to like. The worst part about it is that my whole brain kept going like I could totally see Coverdale singing with Tawny Katane dancing on a jab.
So Badlands for you,
yeah.
Mike D.
I originally said I think we were kind of listening to this together the other day, and I'm like, man, I was like, this song is going to lose to just about anyone that it goes against. And then I'm listening to this song, I'm like, wow. I'm like, these words are just hard. It's like, but the music in this is just fucking incredible. Like, it's not a short song. It's at least about 6 minutes almost.
Yeah,
6 minutes plus. But just the stuff musically going on in that, man, I just got to go with that, and I feel dirty doing it and wrong, but
dirty.
I'm taking that.
I felt like there was a layer of cheese on it, but I just thought the music was too good not to.
The music's amazing. The music's amazing. Do not get me wrong. Like you can't go wrong with like it
words.
Just the lyrics just got me. Like, oh, come on, dude. Like I felt dirty a little bit. Like I'm like, ooh. If somebody's paying attention to me, what I'm listening to, and I'm listening to this song, I'm gonna
slip inside. I'm gonna come inside, girl.
He's only 17.
Yeah.
It came on the radio. It came on Hair Nation the other day, and I just started pissing myself in the car. Yeah. I'm like, wow, he got so much shit for this song.
Yeah. Damiano, what you got?
Sex Child, man. The music is, everybody said it. It's amazing, and I love myself some cheese, man, but I just can't get past those lyrics and the chorus and the title. Devil Stomp, I think is fucking killer. I love the intro before it kicks in. Mm-hmm. And when it kicks in, the fucking groove is like badass. So that was an easy one. Devil Stomp for sure.
Badlands.
Can I just add one thing before we go on to the next part? Sex Child was like a song that Paul Stanley wrote and says, no, we're not going to do this.
Could have been.
Even G was
song.
like, "We have limits."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mentioned Kiss there. Here we go.
Kiss always gets mentioned at least once. Yeah. Devil Stomp, I gave a 7.5. This one's good. It's got some cool changes. It's a good song. Sex Child, I gave an 8. The words may be a bit goofy, but there's a lot of good stuff in this tune. I mean, there's just so much cool melody and stuff, and I got to go with the melody. Blue Murder.
So we've got 4 creeps in the room right
now. Okay, round 8. Winter's Call, Steve. Winter's Call versus Out of Love. Winter's Flame. Winter's Call versus Out of Love. What do you got there, Steve?
Okay, Out of Love reminds me of the White Snake ballad.
Is This Love?
Yeah. Is this love that I'm feeling? That one. Really good tune. It just seems too long to me, and I can't get over the fact that I can't look past it like I did Sex Child and be like, okay, that's kind of like immature, but at the same time, it's very well written. This sounds like a White Snake song that I can't let that go.
Yeah.
Plus, Winter's Call, the beginning of that is epic. And then when it goes in, Tom, I don't know if you remember, but when we were in Chiroxy, we changed vocalists and we got Corey Massey.
Yeah.
So Corey comes down and Joe Fortino starts playing Winter's Call, and he sings, and Corey starts singing. And dude, we were like, he sounded just like Ray Gillen.
Yeah.
Me and Tommy looked at each other.
I was there.
We went like this, dude. That's it. You're in. Like he sang the beginning, like 4
That was
lines.
it. Just
We knew
like
he was the man. Yeah. And we didn't stop. I mean, that rise was like boom, it was quick. But anyway,
real quick.
So I have a good fond memory of him singing this, and plus I think this is a better song, and it's not so elongated and wrung out and another power ballad and da 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 da. So I'm gonna go with Winter's Call due to them like 4 or 5 reasons that I just mentioned.
Badlands. Red, what do you got?
I am also going Winter's Call. In fact, I put the epic and big track. It's like the big track of the album. And yeah, Out of Love is literally just a fucking White Snake ballad. And that literally, I think, I fucking wrote that too. Seriously, it's generic. It was a generic ballad.
Yeah.
So yeah, Winter's Call. And I do remember that because I remember when Corey tried out, my dad was there.
Yeah.
And you looked at me, you went like this, you went, and I went, then we both turned to my dad, and my dad's sitting there going like this.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good memory.
Mike D.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be Winter's Edge for me. I mean, this is just an epic
Winter's
song.
Edge.
Winter's song.
Call.
Jeez, I'm looking at the word from the other.
He's on the edge,
Yeah,
Mike.
Dancing on the Edge is
It's on
right
the
after
edge
that.
of
So
your
I'm like,
seat.
Winter's song. I'm going with that. Yeah, Out of Love, just not my thing. Even if it was a good ballad, it probably still wouldn't be my thing.
Look,
Badlands.
I'm not
guitar
into that
solo.
really ballad.
Great guitar solo. Had all the, as Damien said, psychisms in there. The woo. He did all that, greatly produced. Has that wall of kind of sound, like it just sounds big, but it's just it didn't hold up whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's an 80s ballad that, the White Snake one was better.
I think I gave the Out of Love a 6.5, and Winter's Song I gave 8.25. So I think I was even generous on Out.
Damiano.
Out of Love, I'm just not into. I gave that same score Mike did, 6.5. Winter's Call, I love. I gave that an 8. You know what's cool? If you crank it up right before it kicks in, like really, really crank it up, you could hear the click.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's like charm, I think. That's cool when you hear shit like that on like an album that's coming out on Atlantic Records,
like a big record. Yeah.
That's how like raw it was.
Hey, that's like something that like your band or my band would do, and we'd finally say that's the final mix, and then you would send it off to get mixed, and then you play it. If you did
notice it
work and you hear click, Like, you
Yeah.
motherfucker, how did I miss that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know
it
what?
happens.
That's probably what happened with them. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why you got to listen to
Like
things in
bleeding
the
through.
car. You got to listen to it with the AirPods. You got to listen to it
Yeah,
with big
yeah.
speakers. You got to listen to it on like the little boss. You got to listen to that because
Yep.
you
Listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny though?
hear
Where you can listen
something
to
else.
music.
You know,
I'll listen to something on the stereo. Love it. Put it on my headphones. I'm like, wow, it's not as good. Sometimes even vice versa. It's weird.
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
like mixing, when like we're doing our records with Dave, it's like if you put the AirPods on, everything's super bright. And you're like, wow, okay, everything sounds good. You don't hear that much bass. So you tell them to turn up the bass and then you play through the ball speaker and then it's like,
Yeah.
you're like, dude, like what? You know what I mean? And you got to kind of balance that all
Yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
It really depends on what you're listening to it through.
Yeah. Every
Like,
speaker's different. Every speaker's kind of different. I mean, the car test is usually the best test, but
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, if you notice,
Mhm.
you'll never
Factory
get that
car
perfect.
setting,
Yeah.
no equalization, just the car set, the way it has it. That's probably the closest you're going to
Yeah,
get to
but-
some even keel of, between the AirPod and like a
Yeah.
boss or something like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, because it'll never match up perfect. It just
Never.
won't.
And I feel bad for Dave with something like that. I'm like, dude, I listen to it here. It sounds great. I listen to it here. It sounds a little bassy, and then he takes the bass back. Then it's too much, and then you're
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll go back up 1 dB. That's going to make a difference, but it
Yeah.
seems to. I
Yeah.
guess you hear it so much, every little thing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's not an easy task.
Damiano went with Badlands. For me, same thing. Winner's call. Badlands gets the sweep.
That's a sweep.
Another sweep. Okay, we're going on to round 9, last round. Badlands Hard Driver versus Valley of the Kings. So we're going to go with Steve. What do you got, Steve?
I was never a big fan of the Valley of the King song. I don't know. I just didn't really like that one that much. Even though I heard it and then I bought the record, that wasn't the one that was like, okay, this is my jam. Where Hard Driver, I actually think has some sort of has an attitude to it. It's like apples and oranges. I mean, I think the Badlands record is kind of really dry. He's got a really dry guitar tone, and it's more raw. And you get Ray Gillen has that kind of attitude, and then the Valley of the Kings, it's so overproduced. I mean, it's like the guitar, you can hold a note for like a minute. For like a minute,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with whenever I have that discrepancy, I always go attitude. So I'll go with Hard Driver.
Badlands. Red, what you got?
Okay. So this I went with Valley of the Kings. This is like whereas Winter's Call was the Badlands epic song on the album. This was the Sword video, their epic track with a story and shit, and I dig it. I get why Steve dug Hard Driver over this. The problem I have with Hard Driver is the music A+, the lyrics are like a C for me. But it's still their middle of the road is still better than some bands' fucking best track. So,
Sure.
so it's not like a huge difference, but I went with Blue Murder on this one.
Okay, Blue Murder. Mike D.
Oh, I definitely went with Blue Murder on this one. I gave that a 10. Hard Driver, I gave a 7. And I don't know what happened to my notes that I put on here. If I could remember, Hard Driver was the song that had all those guitar pings in it.
I think it might be.
And that really irked me. I hope I'm not giving you the wrong song, but I'm almost sure it was that.
There is a song with a lot of pings in it. There is one song. I don't know if that one's it.
A
Yeah.
Badlands song?
Yeah.
Like them as Zach Wild kind of pingies.
Uh,
I don't know what one is offhand.
I'm almost sure it's that one. I could be wrong, but whatever one that one, it kind of annoyed me.
I have a note on mine. I have a note for Hard Driver that was kind of like it was like a chugga 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 chugga. Like it had like a
little
choo choo train type of thing going.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mike D went with Valley Kings. I already put it in there. Damiano.
Hard Driver is probably my second favorite tune on the album. I gave it a 9. I love the drums. I love the drums throughout the whole song. It is great. And I love the song in general. But Valley of the Kings to me is a 10. I think that's like the Still of the Night of the record.
Badlands.
I love I can't even listen to the edit version, the video version, because it's like 2 minutes or like it's
Cut
like
off,
chopped off. I like the long epic version, and I love that everything is big, and I love the the ahs,
Mhm.
at the end of the song and all that shit, and it's so over the top, big sounding. I mean, it's called Valley of the Kings. It sounds,
Like he's in
Very, very Egyptian, like that.
Yeah, I love the
Kinda.
Egyptian shit. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I gave out a 10. So
So bad. Blue Murder gets that one. For me, Hard Driver 7.6, decent tune, a lot of cool guitar noodle in there, but it's no match for Valley of the Kings. It's this shows you where as close as me and Steve are, how opposites we are. Steve you're in a band, you do a t-shirt. Steve likes the little t-shirt that that has the nice little logo in there. It's not too abrasive. I like the fucking big, epic, fucking out of control, too much going on kind of
not
thing.
all the time. No, you gotta
No,
dial it back a
you
little
got to
bit.
dial me back a little bit. I'm like Nike, just do it,
I'm
But,
surprised you don't have flashing lights on that shirt.
It should. I wish it did. Valley of the Kings, I gave it a 10. It's just an awesome song. I love the video. I love the whole Egyptian thing. Unbelievable, man.
they spent like $1 million on that video.
Really?
I believe
Wow.
it.
Back in
Back then, that was a
1989.
lot.
I
That was a
think
lot for that time.
Blue Murder.
I heard somebody say that before. I remember because I don't know if that was an exaggerated number, but you could see what all the,
It was
all
epic
that
looking,
stuff
yeah.
they did to it. Where like, Dreams in the Dark was just like basically like a soundstage. So they probably rented out a place and just put some lights up and had some different camera angles. That thing was a whole thing. They probably build the set and they, you gotta pay the designer and all that shit, so.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I mean, while you're counting, do you want to know a couple little tidbits in terms of sales for both of these albums?
Sure.
All right, so Badlands debuted at number 2 when it came out on the top
Wow.
200, and ultimately sold 2 million and went double platinum.
Holy shit.
Badlands?
Badlands.
Wow.
Now, Blue Murder debuted at 172, peaked at 69,
Wow.
and sold in the US only 150,000 copies.
Wow.
And only
crazy.
sold 500,000 copies worldwide. Didn't even go platinum.
I think the reason being maybe because Jake's coming off of this theme from Ozzy, and
Exactly.
I don't think
why.
people knew. Your regular everyday guy who listens to the radio probably didn't know how involved John Sykes probably was with the Whitesnake record.
Yeah, like when that album came out, when Blue Murder came out, the only thing we knew about John Sykes is that he was in Whitesnake and they were fighting. But then you listen to the Blue Murder album, it's like these are all Whitesnake songs.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Valley of the King, dude, Coverdale. I would not be shocked if there were demos somewhere of some of these songs being worked out by Sykes and Coverdale. I would not be shocked.
I actually have the lowdown on what happened. So,
okay.
Give it to us.
Little, under thing there. Their A&R person at Geffen, Blue Murder, completely dropped them. Supposedly they didn't give him any support, and they tried to break the band in Japan, and they did. They were successful over there, but the time it came over here, they pulled the plug on the money.
Wow.
And that's what happened to them. Where Badlands made it in America and then went over. They went over first and then came here. Now sometimes that's successful, like a band like Boyz II Men. They made it in Europe and then came over here. There's another
Hendrix.
In Sync and some other bands went over there and came back, but they pulled the support from them. And then that supposedly sent John Sykes in this huge depression, and he had a nervous breakdown, and then blah 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 blah, and then that was that. And then the second album was nowhere near of the masterpiece that this record was.
No, it didn't even.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even think I heard it. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know they had a second album.
It has moments, and he's still a great guitar player,
but it's not like the first one.
It's not this,
No.
and the production's not this, but
Didn't they try to reconcile a few years ago, him and Coverdale, for a 40th anniversary of that, or a 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary
I
of that
heard
Whitesnake
rumblings
album?
of that, but yeah, nothing ever happened.
Never came of it.
But that's what I think happened with Blue Murder. It was a timing thing and a money thing. I don't see why that record at that time did not stick out over some of the slop that was out there.
Yeah.
In '89, that album should have been. They should have been playing shows with like even if they were opening for bigger acts, they should have been out there.
Yeah.
The album should have done so much better. Badlands, we get why it did really well, but Blue Murder, maybe everyone heard Sex Child and was like, eh.
they probably should have got like a front man.
Yeah.
Like
Sykes is
that's the thing.
If you look
at their wiki, they had several.
Yeah.
Ray Gillen was one of them.
That could
I mean, I can look it up, but they had
that other
guy.
Guys. Dan, what's the guy? You're good on the metal stuff. What's the guy that sang for Black Sabbath?
Tony Martin.
Tony Martin was in the band too for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah,
I can see that working. I can see that.
Then
working.
right before they were ready to record, he like freaked out and he said he didn't want to do it. And then that's when Carmen Apiece said to
Sykes,
John Sykes, like, you should just do it, and then he
yeah.
did it. But yeah, man, maybe if they had like a little bit more of a front man, or maybe if he, I don't know, had another guitar player where he was the front man who just kind of played solos like Tom Kiefer, and he more fronted the band and had another guy.
Do you think it could have been that they would look like they were going for the pirate look? It was kind of like a pirate look.
Yeah, I mean, the look was a little, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it was a little pirates.
Yeah, but they kind of look like everybody. Like
they look like.
So
I mean, if you look at Sykes, you have to look twice at him. I'm looking at a picture of them right now, and at first glance, Sykes looks like Coverdale.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like Carmine sticks out like a sore fucking thumb. So does Franklin.
Yeah.
But he literally looks like Coverdale with a guitar.
Thomas, he got the mustache in the picture.
Probably.
Carmine.
Yeah, or the goatee.
Yeah.
That thing.
That always made him stick out. He always got
Hold on.
big fruit of the goatee or the stash,
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You know what? And as ridiculous as it sounds, how many power trios were successful then?
Yeah.
If they had like a rhythm guitar player, just the
first
image.
glance, the back of the album, dude, that's Coverdale.
Oh
Yeah.
Very
Like
priority.
Fox, dude.
Yeah.
Put that back up.
Carmine totally looks like Dean. Like, does he look like Dean?
They got like the button down thing. It's Brittany Fox, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to have you have to have great songs.
Yeah, he's got
Three.
the,
You remember that, Steve?
Yeah. Tom, tell
We were
that story. That's great.
So, Shy Roxy's first manager had a airbrush store off of South Street, right by
Sue.
Jim's.
I remember Sue.
You remember Sue? Yeah. He had a store, and Angel, the airbrush artist who was working there, was doing guitar paintings she did it for Gigi from Heaven's Edge. She did a whole bunch of stuff, and she was working on something for Dean. And for Black Eyed Susan?
Yes. Yeah.
I remember that band.
Yeah, and so he came in and he's with wasn't Jeff Cease with him at the time?
Yes.
Steve?
Yeah.
Jeff Cease was with them. And
Marciano.
Yeah, who was the bass player? Your buddy
Willie.
Willie. And they come in and we're just all talking. And he's talking about the band and he's talking about the problems with the Black Crowes because of Jeff Cease, stuff like that. And he goes, and he makes his point, and then he goes 3, and I'm like Steve and I are like this, like, and me and Steve kind of have this thing. I'm not going to tell you what it means. I mean, if you know, you know, but
oh yeah, I know.
It shows you how old. It shows you Tom's been around me for a while.
Yeah, the Steve-isms.
Yeah, I haven't heard that story in a long time. That's the truth, man. No, he did say that.
That's so funny that like they were just saying it like Dean's a sweet guy, but he's not a rocket scientist. And if he hears me say this, I don't care. He doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
So he doesn't remember you. He'll probably
he doesn't remember me
or something.
Yeah. So
he doesn't give a fuck.
Before we wrap up and give the totals here, real quick, we're gonna have Dame tell this story. If you noticed, it's hard to get the Badlands first record. The vinyl's
First two,
probably almost impossible. I think Berkman's the only person I know who has the vinyl. I have the CD, and it's hard to
The
get.
cassette. I have
I
the
got
Yeah,
the
the cassette.
cassette,
Mike's
yeah.
got
Yeah.
the cassette. You have
got
to
the
go to
CD and
YouTube to listen
cassette.
to it. You can't get. You can get other Badlands albums. I think
The third one,
What was that blue? Dusk. I think
Dusk.
Dusk.
Yeah,
you
but
could get
that came out like 10 years after.
and that was at Voodoo
Voodoo
Highway.
Highway
Was
was
another
second.
one.
Yeah, you can't find that either.
So tell us why, Dame. What's the deal with that Badlands
'cause
record?
supposedly there was well, Ray Gillen, he had AIDS, he died of AIDS, but when he knew he was infected, supposedly he wound up passing along to like a bunch of women that that he slept with, and after he died they sued the label, and I don't know, for whatever reason they stopped the production of any future records. So there's been like some European labels that tried to reissue it, because you could lease, and you could, not like a lease, I forget what.
You could buy the rights to X amount of albums you could put out. It's one of those
Right,
things.
yeah, you could buy the rights to
Right.
reissue a record
For
for
like
like
1,000
year
units or something like that, yeah.
So there was a label in England that tried to do that, and just as they're ready to release it, they got notification that they couldn't sell it, so they had to,
There's probably
Yeah,
like
the
some
Canada guys,
wacky
so.
thing where like a judge, and I'm just speculating here. Like, like a judge is like, okay, and the settlement is this, and the settlement is that, and you can't sell that album no more. Which basically had nothing to do with what he was doing. The music, the
Right.
legacy of the band had nothing to do with what he was doing.
Right.
But it's probably like something like that. Like, you're never to play that song ever again. And he hit it, and that was it, whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Could be for a certain amount of time.
Original.
Could be for 50 years or something too. I mean, who knows? I mean,
There's got to be some statute of limitations on it, but
yeah.
An original pressing vinyl on eBay is like $500.
Wow.
Yeah. I got 2 copies of the CD. I got the cassette. Vinyl I don't have. I would love
Yeah,
to get
I just
that
got the
vinyl,
CD.
but I'm not.
There's bootleg vinyls on there for far cheaper,
Yeah.
but they're bootlegs,
Yeah.
which means they were recorded off a
CD.
cassette or
CD,
CD or.
I thought I had the
I don't
CD, but I can't find it.
I think what sucks about that is like that. I mean, we all know that's a great album, right? Whether it wins here or not, it's a great record. Jake's a monster on there. Ray Gillen, regardless of what he did with his sex life, sang his ass off. Rhythm section's great, right? I mean, and if you're the rest of the band now, Ray Gillen killed your legacy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you like, what if you're Jakey Lane? You're like, I could be making money. I can't even make money because you won't press the album.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think Jake's even played in what's it, Red Dragon Cartel? Jake's project he's doing right now.
He
He don't play none of the Badlands stuff, right? Live, does he?
Oh no, he was. Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
check that out. I like to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm sure it all has to do with the original pressing. Here's a question: why isn't he doing something like Taylor Swift does, and go in the
Redo
studio
it.
with a different singer
Yeah,
and redo it?
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean,
just
shit,
think
you
he-
could probably still
Hey,
get R.
if
Kelly.
what's that?
I said you could probably still get R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's
This
what I'm
isn't
saying.
this isn't
Probably-
Sex Child, dude.
Sex
That's
child, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
blue murder.
Um,
No, but seriously, I mean, I mean, unless it has to do with writing credits, I
Right.
don't know what he wrote on that album.
Yeah.
It seems like Jake
Probably
wrote
all the
most of it.
I would think Jake a lot of it. Yeah.
I think Jake wrote the music and Ray wrote the lyrics. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
most of it. But there's probably
I'm going to look it
why
up
that-
because
Yeah.
I mean, if you were Jakey Lee, you'd want to make the money from it, right?
Sure,
Gotta be
absolutely.
a reason he's really not doing that, and he's just playing the songs live instead of trying. It's probably like some goofy thing. I don't
I mean,
know.
especially that's a double platinum album. You know, it would
Yeah.
probably still sell here and there.
Oh, it'll definitely sell. That would go quick. That album would go quick. So before I give the tally here, I'm going to say 2 great albums, 2 great bands, 2 great voices, 2 awesome guitar players, 2 must-have records. Both of these records are worth having. And your final total is 23 chips for Badlands, 21 chips for Blue Murder. It was close.
Wow.
Badlands
Wow.
edges it out. So that's what we got. Yeah,
That's
Badlands.
I had Badlands winning. This
Yeah.
my chart
I
here.
actually
I
had
ain't
Blue
mad.
Murder winning, believe it or
I
not.
thought Blue Murder was.
Yeah. I had
I ain't mad.
You're good with the Tom. So yeah, it's mixtapes and tasty cakes. Thanks, Steve from Seems Like Tuesday. Tom Hodges. Thank you. And we'll put up your info so people could see all your stuff and all the cool artwork.
Yeah, like, check it out.
Yeah. Mike D, Damiano, Bert Lepore. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
All right.